Okay, now for adding infinite fields. And adding infinite fields is the same thing as adding with regular whole numbers. So like if you were adding 1 plus 1, remember that you just start at 1 and you count one number after it. So 1 plus 1 would be 2. It's the same thing for finite fields. If you were adding 5 plus 2 in real numbers, we would just start at 5 and count two numbers afterwards. So you start at 5 and the first number after is 1, the second number after is 2. For finite fields, it's the same thing. But except remember, there's a limited number of numbers. So once you get to 5, say in F4, you don't have 5 in here. You just go around the circle. So if you start at 0, you go to 1, 2, 3, and then you go to 4. To go to 5, it's just going back to 1. So in a finite field, you get different answers than you would get in your real numbers. So let's look at it in an example. The process is still the same thing. You start at one number and you count or move that number of times for the second number. So for example, say in F4, you're adding 5 plus 2. You still start at 5 and you count two numbers after. But remember, this time counting is different. You don't count up all the way. There's a bound on the number of numbers that you have. So let's look at it in this way. Let's see what I mean. You know, in F4, there's 0, 1, 2, 3. But if you want to go to 4 or 5, what do you get? It's different. So you start at 0, you go to 1, go to 2, you go to 3, and you go to 4. But 4 is just the same as 0. You go to 5, 5 is just the same as 1. You go to 6, 6 is just the same as 2. And you go to 7, 7 is just the same as 3. And 8 is just the same as 0. So in F4, if you're adding 5 plus 2, you would start at 5, which we saw was 1, and you add 2. So you move once, you count up once, and then you count up 2 times. So 2 numbers after 5. So one number after 5 is 6, which is just 2. And 2 numbers after 5 is 7, which is just 3. So 5 plus 2 and F4 is just 1. You start at 1, you go 1, 2, it's just 3. So 5 plus 2 is 3 in F4. That's something different, right?